It's officially here. It is the NFL's Combine Week. A bunch of players are going to be out there in Indianapolis making a statement for themselves. It's the greatest job interview of the world. We're going to break it down right here on the Wayne Breezy Show. Don't forget to hit the like and don't forget to subscribe.
Breezy this, breezy that. They know I'm gold-blooded. I got the Niners on my back, you know. Breezy this, breezy that. Ain't nobody working like Breezy, and that's a fact. Overmotivated is an understatement. Gold-blooded to the core, got your squad hating. Breezy make it look easy. Breezy on everything like 05067 Wheezy. This is not a game. Yeah, we faithful in every way. And even though we on the East Coast, very loyal to the Bay. Heavy red and gold every day. And if you really a Niner fan, I know you can relate. Applying pressure with this content like Smaller Bear. We not accepting no slander about Trey, so beware. I stay in exclusively Niner hats. And I always tell the truth, this exclusively Niner facts. Breezy this, breezy that. They know I'm gold-blooded. I got the Niners on my back, you know. Yeah. Breezy this.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Wayne Breezy, and welcome to the Wayne Breezy Show, man. This goes out to you, and you. This goes out to everybody out there. I got to give a shout out to Jacqueline. She has been a member right now for 3 months. So air horns to you, Jacqueline. And I see my man Shadow Visions out there is wondering what's going on with his membership. I tell you what, I'll have to check that after the show. I'll go in and look at the analytics of the show, and I can let you know exactly what's going on. But I do appreciate you for joining the channel. Shout out to all the other members that are out there. I'm hoping everything is going great. I'm hoping you guys had a great weekend. Peachy's in the building. Jacqueline's in the building. Christy Marie is in the building. My man Mike Eng, what's going on, baby? Long time no talk. Good to see you. Good to hear from you as well. You know what, Shadow Vision? You said you were members. I'm going to post it up here. Anyway, shout out to my man Shadow Vision. I appreciate you. Jerome is definitely in the house. You better watch your mouth. The beautiful Miss Debbie is here. She says, good morning, Wayne. Blessings to those joining this fine Monday morning. Please hit that like button, all right? Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. It is super important to the algorithm. You already know. My Uncle Scott's in the building. What's going on? Troy, what's good, family? It's good to hear from you, man. Listen, you're going to be up in my prayers. You told me that you're going to be going into the hospital this upcoming week, so definitely we'll be praying. I hope you get the chance to watch all of the Combine workouts this week. It's a great week for football. It's a great week for 49er fans and all that good stuff, all right? So shout out to you guys, man. Terra Dome, what's going on, Bishop? I see you in the building. And all the other members out there, man. I love you. The subscribers. Grizz is in the house. Terrence is in the house. I told you. One of the perks is you get the early morning member shout out, man. So if you remember, shout out to you. Shout out to my man. Yo, I promise you, Smitty, I was thinking about you, bro. And I was like, why haven't I heard from this young gentleman in a long time? I'm like, what is going on? And then he pops into the show, into the chat, and says, Wayne, let me know when you need me for running back, wide receiver, quarterback, rookie breakdowns. I'll be ready. I'm telling you right now, get ready. It's the most wonderful time of the year, Smitty, and I'm going to need your expertise. Make sure you guys are following him on his channel right here on the YouTube, all right? Oh, man, what an exciting day. It's Monday. I don't know why I'm excited. I had a crazy weekend. Cars in the shop. Didn't get the car out the shop because they broke something else on my car. So because they messed up, I hope they give me a nice cut in the bill. You know what I'm saying? My car's supposed to be ready on Saturday and then get ready on Saturday, whatever. But praying my car is working because I'm going to need that mobile for at least another year to get through all these different engagements. I will not be going to the Combine this week due to my obligations that I've already had. I can't get out of them. It's like, oh man, had I known I was accepted to go to the Combine, I would be there. But unfortunately, I'll be reporting it right here from good old Connecticut. So make sure you look out for all the stuff. We'll get to the formalities. What's going on, Kylie? Very shortly. We got to do this first super chat contribution. You know, we do that first one. We're going to go ahead and give. All right. Let's see. 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 Let's Foghorn one time to Miss Jacqueline Knox. Hey, trying to read it the way she's writing it. The Breeze and family, let's break down these players today. Oh, it's mock draft Monday, and I've been trying to teeter. Thank you for the contribution, Jacqueline. What I'm going to do every Monday, I'll do a live mock draft. This is the second one. They usually so then the breakdown is going to be on the Patreon. All right, so here's the formalities, right? Make sure you like, you comment right here on the YouTube channel at the Wayne Breezy. All right, there's a bunch of shorts that are being put out daily. Please go watch the shorts, like the shorts, comment on the shorts, act like it's another video I'm posting. All right, it's me putting camera work in and giving you a really quick version of a take. All right, so check out the shorts. I promise you they're entertaining. You'll love them. All right, right here on YouTube. Okay, and then on the Patreon, the exclusive shows will be there. So if you want to become a member of the Patreon, go ahead and join www.patreon.com/Wayne Breezy. I'm going to break down the players from each mock draft on the Patreon. So following this show, there will be a Patreon this week breaking down the players from the mock draft. So you guys will be able to be here as I go through the mock draft. I'll get that set up. We'll do that a little bit later. And then I'll break the players down so you guys can get a little bit more insight on what's going on. All right. So make sure you follow on Twitter as well, at Wayne Breezy. You can subscribe there. Don't forget Instagram. Don't forget to follow on Instagram and Facebook at the Wayne Breezy. So make sure you go ahead and give a follow there. And obviously the apparel is www.twben.com. That stands for the Wayne Breezy Entertainment Network /shop. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. All right. Last but not least, here goes our sponsors. Shout out to Residency. We're rocking Residency today. So we'll go ahead and give Residency their shout out. www.residency.com. That's RESID, the number 3 NCY.com. Use the promo code SF Breezy and save on your purchase today. All right. So let's get down to the nitty gritty, man. There's not a lot of 49er news going on, which is a good thing. Bunch of speculation, some things that are going on. It's coming down to this week is about the combine. Then a week after that is going to be that free agency period, right? So you got the combine, you got the free agency, you got the NFL draft in that order, right? So get prepared. For those that are unaware of some of the NFL dates, all right, you got the combine, which is going to be March 1st through March 6th, was going to start this Wednesday, all right? So that's when it's going to start. It's going to start with the defensive linemen. So when we do our Wednesday show, we're going to be focusing on the defensive linemen, the linebackers, etc. All right. So that's going to be Wednesday's show. I can tell you that right now. That's going to be fun to watch. You're going to now, some people for the first time, this is the first time they're going to be watching the combine. So let me just give you a couple of things you're going to want to look out for. Okay. So when you're watching the combine, the 40 is always interesting to watch. The 40-yard dash is what they are going to be running. What's going on, 49er Jeff? What's going on? Dion Niner Game Podcast is in the building. All right. You want to see how fast they're going to be able to run. Now, look, let me just give you Wednesday's schedule because I do have the schedule and I will make sure I post the schedule up on YouTube after the show. So Wednesday's schedule is simply, hold on one second. All right, so 8 to 9, you're going to get the defensive line. That's the edge. All right, so the edge rushers, right? The Drake Jacksons. That's who we drafted last year. Okay, so you're going to get the edge rushers, 8 to 9. All right, and then 9 to 10, you're going to get the linebackers. There's your Fred Warners. And then 10 to 11, you're going to get your interior guys, your defensive linemen. That's your Javon Kinlaws. Okay, so just be specific. Like I'm just trying to get you to understand. Now, when you're paying attention to what's going on with these particular positions, you want to watch their drills, strength drills. Always the bench press is boring as hell, but I mean it's exciting to see how many times guys can bench press. You know, Nick Bosa was able to bench press 225 29 times. I felt like it was a 30, but he couldn't get that last one up. So 29 times, but you're going to see how strong these guys are. In running the 40, let me just explain this. When they run the 40, yeah, you're looking at the overall number. For the defensive lineman and the offensive lineman, pay attention to the 10-yard split. That's more important than their actual 40 time. Ain't not one defense, and I know that didn't make any sense. Defensive linemen aren't going to be running 40-yard sprints down the field. Now, if they can and sustain that, that's amazing. But the 10-yard split is most important. How fast can they get from 1 to 10 yards? That split is the most important number that you want to pay attention to, defensively, offensively. Okay, so just want you to understand that you're gonna watch their 40s and you're gonna be like, oh man, 4.8, that's slow. It is. But Nick Bosa ran what? His first one was like a four. I don't know, but it was like in the 4.7s or something like that, right? If I'm not mistaken. Nick Bosa looks fast and chasing down a defender. So don't pay attention to the actual 40 time. So that's something you're gonna want to watch. I like to see how freakish the athletes are. So pay attention to um their that long jump, their vertical. Those are some of the things that you want to pay attention to. There's a lot of drills, and we're going to break these things down come Wednesday. We'll get more in depth with some of the drills that they're actually going to be performing in on Wednesday. Now, that's the combine. Just wanted to give you a quick date. And then, like I said, after that, free agency is going to kick off. So 49ers are currently sitting at what, like $2.5 million, I believe now. With their top 51 players. So they got about $2.5 million that they can spend according to Spot Rack. And we'll break that stuff down as we go along, weekly throughout the shows, because we need to figure out how the 49ers are going to work out some type of the restructures. And there's a little not, I want to say rumor, but there's something out there saying that there's a couple players that are looking to restructure, like that are going to Fred Warner and I believe Eric Armstead. Now, a lot of people don't like the Eric Armstead restructuring because he's of a veteran player, and now you're talking about extending his contract and extending the money. That I think that's what's more important, like extending when he's going to get paid. And let's say he doesn't fulfill the end of the contract, and then there's going to be dead money, and then that's going to cause the 49ers to still owe money, even after the player is gone. Hence D Ford, right? They're still paying D Ford like $8 million. He's no longer on the team. And his was due to injury, but we're just saying, like, you want as less dead money as you can get, because the 49ers are going to need all the money they can get in the world. I see you, Terradome. I wanted to talk about this because we need to look at trading Eric Armstead. I don't know if I agree with trading Eric Armstead. I'm not sure if that's something I agree with, because not because he's a pillar, but it's more about, I mean, if you're trading him per contract, if you're trading him because of the contract, we could have a conversation. But if you're talking about him as far as declining and his skill set and things like that, I mean, that's a possibility. He is getting older, but he's still versatile. And I would like if they pair him up with a young bull in the middle, opposed to a bunch of makeshift pieces. Then you get better production out of Eric Armstead, and you can also move him from the outside to the inside. So I don't know if I'm all in on trading Eric Armstead, and I think it actually will hurt the 49ers, come down the line. Now, there's another defensive player that might get traded, and that's Javon Kinlaw. Also, they may cut Javon Kinlaw. So that's some of the other rumors that are going out there. Like, post June 1st, the 49ers can save almost $4 million, about $4 million in cutting Javon Kinlaw. So there's a possibility, because of his injuries and because of his ability to stay on the field, that the 49ers move on from Javon Kinlaw. We saw them do that with D Ford after he restructured. Is that a possibility? Possible. I would like to see Kinlaw finish out his contract and see if there's anything he can prove to the world. It's not even about what he can give the 49ers. I want to see if he can prove to himself that he can A, stay healthy, and B, show the rest of the league, listen, man, this is my job interview going forward. I want to play in this league, and we'll see what happens when it comes to, Javon Kinlaw. So that's a couple of the rumors that are going out there. As far as the last date that you guys need to be concerned with, it'll be the draft. And that's when the 49ers are on the clock, where they're drafted, 99, 101, 102. They got those three comp picks, third round comp picks, which are toward the end of the draft, which is leading you into the fourth round. And so the 49ers will be able to draft kind of like back to back to back, which in a way is good, because they can load up on three players in the third round. And mind you, we got we got a really good third rounder on this team right now that's making a name for himself. I'm not gonna say who he is, but you guys know who I'm talking about. And so look, the 49ers have some opportunities that they can fill or fulfill some of those missing voids that's gonna be happening. What's going on, Travis King? What's going on, family, man? It's good to hear from you, bro. So yeah, like pay attention to that. But it starts with the combine, then the combine is going to kind of like allow the 49ers what they can kind of try to do in free agency, and then from free agency, whatever they don't feel in free agency, they're going to look toward the draft. Now free agency will last for a long period of time, but you usually make the splashes at the very beginning. Me personally, I think the 49ers splash and they draft. They spend some money on a defensive lineman. I think they still draft one, but they spend some money on one. And I can't wait to see the progress of Kalia Davis. And I do believe that they're going to bring Kevin Givens back on a team friendly type of a deal. So we'll see how that all pans out, over the next several weeks. All right, over the next several weeks. Let's get to some of the 49ers news because there was a signing over the weekend. I want to talk about the signing just a little bit. Tabor Pepper re-signed to a 3-year deal, $1.5 million guaranteed, according to Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissaro and all those guys out there. And here it is right here. 3-year deal that includes a $1.5 million guaranteed for the 49ers long snapper. I'm excited for this because the 49ers, I feel, that he's an anchor to what the 49ers, do in their kicking game and their special teams game, right? And so you need Tabor Pepper, the kid that's super familiar. I mean, and he's super great at what he does. Okay. And when it comes to Robbie Gold being successful on his kicks or the punts to go where they need to go on time, it all starts with your long snapper and Tabor Pepper. And I just like his wit. I love his what he does out there in social media. I think is really cool. He's super, interactive with the people and the community. And I think that's a great thing for Tabor Pepper. And I'm glad that he chose to resign. Right. It's not like i- like he could have signed anywhere he wanted to. The fact that he chose to come back to the 49ers, I thought was a huge deal. But I do have a question for Tabor Pepper because I'm trying to figure out this. And so, why you block me, dog? Like why am I blocked? What did I say or do? Somebody find out what I said or did. I mean, I might have talked about a high snap periodically. I never blamed him, for anything. But I mean, come on. A high snap is a high snap. I can't critique a high snap if a snap is high as high. But at the end of the day, I'm like, man, what did I do to get blocked? Did anybody else get blocked by Tabor Pepper? I'm just curious. I think my brother John Chapman got blocked by Tabor Pepper as well. But let me know if you got blocked by Tabor Pepper in the chat. Go check your Twitter. It could be Twitter just bugging. Like Twitter is just on some liquid stuff right now. They're just I don't understand Twitter anymore, and it's kind of like, eh, I'm kind of like starting to get fed up with it. He blocked your boy John. I know. I seen it. I'm trying to figure out because I don't remember ever once kind of like downgrading like a Tabor Pepper. Like he's a long snapper. We need him, and majority of the time he's A+ guy, right? Every now and then there's a high snap and the ball has to be handled a certain way or whatever like that. I mean, that's on the snapper. If the snap is high, I mean, I don't know how else to critique a high snap. But hey, if that's why I'm blocked, maybe that's why I'm blocked. I don't know. Maybe you guys know. Hit up Tabor, be like, yo, why you block Breezy? I, what did I do? So this is the second time I've been blocked by a player. The first time I was blocked by George Kittle. But shout out to you guys because you guys got that unblocked somehow. I don't know what I said about George Kittle that got me blocked, but some reason I'm getting blocked by players. Anyway, just wanted to put that out there. Tabor, I think you're a real one, and congratulations. You're still with the San Francisco 49ers, and we can continue to root for you as long as you're here. All right. And so other 49ers news, like we talk about the draft. All right. Now, 49ers Web Zone put out an article that there was a pre-draft meeting with linebacker Mohammed, I think it's Diabate, or I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right, linebacker out of Utah. Now, this is interesting, right? Because the 49ers just signed McCrary Ball to a 1-year deal, right? And then they still have Curtis Lofton. And I like the fact that they're looking at linebackers. Why? Because it's a machine and you want to keep that position, you know what I'm saying, rolling. Like you want to keep it like churning, like it's like a fine well machine, right? And so you go out and you get a player that can do everything that you're used to your linebackers doing. I think Johnny Holland probably has a high grade on this kid. The 49ers are drafting a little bit later in the draft. There's a possibility that they use one of their third round picks on this particular linebacker. Now, I feel like I haven't projected to go in the 5th round, but there's a possibility that the 49ers see something that they like in him. They are going to 9 times out of 10 lose Aziz Al Shair, which is their weak side linebacker, which covers, stops the run, and he's in there on your base downs. And if you guys don't understand the base, that's when the 49ers come out and they're base 4-3, because on the offensive side of the ball, there's only 2 wideouts, all right, out there in the field. And so that you come out with your 3 linebackers. And so when Aziz is out there, he was, damn near all pro, but because he saw less of the snaps, they don't feel like they're gonna want to spend the money on that position. They'll just draft another person. And so shout out to Aziz Al Shair. Round of applause for him, because he's been balling out his whole career. And he's gonna go get that bag from wherever he goes. Right, so Aziz is going to go get the bag. Now, the question is, who's going to fill in the Aziz spot, because the 49ers will come out in base. Here's a kid that they're looking at now. Just a little tidbit on this kid. Now, this was first put out. Now, I want to give credit to where credit is due, so don't mind me. All right, so I like to make sure people get their credit. All right. Justin M_NFL on Twitter said Utah linebacker Mohamed Diabate was a standout and a versatile player at the Shrine Bowl that can play multiple positions. So this is important, because what do the 49ers like to draft? They like to draft versatile players, right? Can you play safety? Can you play linebacker? Can you play, kicker, punter, center? Can you play water boy? Can you play anywhere I need you to play whenever I ask you to play? That's key. Versatility is key. Is it Diabate, who had 13 and a half tackles for losses, 5 sacks this past year. He met with a ton of teams at the Shrine Bowl, standout meetings, including the Falcons, Broncos, Bills, Chargers, Jets, and the 49ers. Now, it's important to know that this kid is probably 9 times out of 10 going to get picked up. All right. Terradome says PFF is getting him a 3rd, 4th, and 5th round value on the edge and tight end. Okay. All right, cool. So I like, when it comes to 49ers filling that linebacker void, I feel like they kind of got it down pat. Will the 49ers use a 3rd round pick? They have 3 of them. Will they spend the 3rd round pick on a guy? It depends. I believe his value is 4th or 5th round. In this particular draft, there's some other linebackers that they might actually look at. Now, the important part is this combine. And so he played very well at the East Shrine Bowl. That's the other All-Star Bowl game. All right. So if you don't go to the Senior Bowl, sometimes your juniors and your seniors, they'll go to that particular bowl. And there's also another bowl. I can't remember the name of it. I had John Vogel on here. He was telling me about all the different All-Star games. And I was like, I only thought there was like 2, but apparently there's 3, maybe even 4. All right. So it's really cool to see these players go to these All-Star games and get out there and kind of like make a name for himself. So there was a linebacker that stood out to the 49ers, had a pre-draft meeting with the 49ers. So let's see if that manifests to anything. If he's invited to the combine and he does participate in the combine, I'm sure he'll build his draft stock there. And that's what the combine is all about, right? Players going out there, building their draft stock, tightening up that resume and giving, just passing just about every test that's going to be thrown at him. So it's going to be very, 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 very interesting. A little bit more on the linebacker. He's racked up 89 career tackles. Now, he was a transfer from Florida. So he transferred from Florida, and that's where he had that. And then he racked up 89 career tackles in Florida, 228 tackles. Total 24 tackles for a loss, 24 tackles for a loss, 10 and a half sacks, interception, 2 passes defended, and 4 forced fumbles in his 4 collegiate seasons. All right, 4 forced fumbles. This guy appears to be super active. And that's important. So when the 49ers are looking at players, they're looking at players that are versatile and players that can make plays. So pay attention to that. Got a super chat contribution from my man Sean. He says, come on, everyone knows what you said. What did I say? I don't even know what I said. Did I say something? I don't know. But Sean, thank you for the super chat contribution. I appreciate you. All right. Eric Carr has a quick question. Wayne, who is the next kicker for the 49ers this year? Oh man, I'm hoping it's Robbie Gold. Like I want to see Robbie Gold come back. The question is, will they franchise tag him? Will they transition tag him? Or will they work out a deal for the veteran? And that's something that we're gonna have to sit here and kind of like wait on. Now we got 10 picks. I don't mind spending a pick on a kicker. So if you're asking me, is there a kicker that I want to spend a pick on? Absolutely. It's Jake Moody out of Michigan. This is a guy that can kick 61 yarders for fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you get a young guy in here, he'll be you draft this kicker. Now there's a possibility he goes undrafted, but you draft a kicker like this kid who has kicked in the worst weather conditions you can possibly ask for, which means he's going to come to California and be able to kick like that. But my point is, you draft this particular type of kicker and Moody, you're going to be set for the next decade. You know, and so you're good. So now it's almost like the punter situation. I didn't understand it. I didn't agree with drafting Mitch Wisnowski. I didn't understand why we didn't sign. Who was our punter before that? Was it Andy Lee or Bradley Pinion? It was one of the two. They both were 49ers. I felt like we should have brought one back, but there's a possibility that they actually do draft a kicker in this particular draft. And if they do, I'm hoping it's Jake Moody. If it's anybody else, then I'm going to have a problem with it. But Eric Carr, I'm hoping that they find a way to work out a deal for Robbie Gold. Man, is he clutch? Yes. Is he clutch in the playoffs? Even more the yes. That's even more why you bring him back, because if your offense can't get stuff going and they can get you in a position to get points, you're gonna want that clutch kicker, and Robbie Gold is just that in the playoffs. So that's who I'm with. If not, if they don't bring Gold back, you got to draft a kicker. Please let the kicker be Jake Moody. That would be the best kicker out there. Sean's back with the contribution. He says it's because Skittles is a Jimmy itch. I think you're talking about George Kittle. I don't know. I don't know what Sean's currently talking about at this moment, but I do thank you for the contribution. And I appreciate you and I love you, my brother. So keep up the great work, man. All right. But so that's the latest in 49ers news. All right. Now listen, it's combine week. There's a question out there. How many draft picks made all pro under the Lynch Shanahan era? Don't forget to vote. There's only 69 votes. You guys know I like my votes. I want to get to that 100 number. So if you're watching the show, hit the like button and don't forget to vote. Class participate, guys. All right. I want to know if you guys know the answer. Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? You can also post it in the chat. I'll definitely get to the joint at the end. But what I would like to do with you guys today, it is mock draft Monday. And every Monday until the draft, your boy Wayne Breezy is going to do a mock draft. And then I'll do an extensive breakdown of the players picked in the mock draft for the Patreon. All right. So you guys will be a part of the live draft. And then I'll take this live draft and I'll go ahead and bring the results and do another video for the picks that I picked in the Patreon. We'll go through them one by one. All right. And the Patreon. So let's go ahead and get that set up, man, because I'm actually excited. Now, I'm going to continue to use the PFF. I don't know. Part of me wants to switch it up. I want to use different simulators, but you know what? I'm going to rock out with the PFF one and we'll call it a day. So um hopefully, like as the time progresses, as the time progresses, some of these players are starting to get shifted around, and that's kind of like what I'm hoping for, because as you start to see the combine, players should be moving up in these big boards, or players should be moving down on the big board. So either way, like, stuff should go down. So shout out to everybody that's out here. Appreciate you, everybody that's rocking with me on this Monday morning. It's a real one, especially when there's not a lot of 49er stuff to talk about. Steve says the draft network simulator is pretty good. You know what? I forgot about the draft. I don't remember my login for that. The draft network simulator. Draftnetwork.com. There's no way I remember my login. Nah, of course I don't. Why would I remember my login? Can I do it without the login? That's the key. I tell you what, I'll have that fixed for next week. But let's go ahead and go to PFF, because I want to see. Let's just use the PFF one for right now. I will have draft simulator Fix for next week. This is a great question. I'm glad you asked this question. I have several draft crushes, right? And it's because we have several needs. Um, it's just unfortunate, like the 49ers don't get to pick as early as I want, which means that they possibly will move up. There's also a possibility the 49ers just draft all 10 draft picks and not move up. So and the funny thing is, I thought they was gonna move up last year, and all right, he says he could do it without this. So let me see if I could get it here. Let's do it. Let's try the draft network simulator. But yeah, so like if I had to if I had to get a have a draft crush, I mean, I really want Cody Mauck out of North Dakota State. I feel like, and I rarely pick linemen, and I shouldn't be looking at linemen like, but this kid, you know how bad I wanted Cam Jurgens last year? That's how bad I want Cody Mauck out of North Dakota State. Now, will he be able to run as fast as Cam Jurgens? No. But man, you get the mean guy on your offensive line who can play every position just about on the offensive line. And I don't think there's been another more versatile player since maybe Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan, and which we kindly passed up on. So I like Cody Mauck out of North Dakota State. That's kind of like my draft crush. There's no way the 49ers, there's no way he should be there for the 49ers. But if he is there for the 49ers, that would be awesome. Like that would be amazing. But that's my draft crush. So make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. I know I'm a premium member, but dang it, I can't even figure out how to get into the draft. See, they trying to charge. You know what? I'm just gonna rock out with what I got right now. The one that I know my login for. We'll just use that one. But yeah, Cody Mauck is the guy. What's going on, Cook Sports? We're gonna get the simulator going. Let me know if that is there for you guys. You guys should be able to see. Let me go ahead and blow this up just a little bit. Pause, because you know I gotta say pause after every time I talk. All right, so there we go. And look, 10 picks is gonna be dope. I like a lot of your selections. Carl Brooks is one of my star players, Terradome, that I have on my Senior Bowl sheet, as you can see. So I'll put it up here just so you know. If you see highlights, that means you've been starred. And I highlighted them in colors. But Carl Brooks is definitely up there for me. I haven't looked into Kobe Turner, Kyle, but I'll give him a check out. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and see how this draft board pans out for the San Francisco 49ers in this particular draft. We'll do a 7 round and we'll do it fast because I'm not going to keep you guys here all this time. All right. I'm not big on trades. It's not because I can't. I just kind of wanted to keep it real. And to what I feel like the 49ers will do. Okay. Let's just do it bearing trades. Later on, we'll start to add some trades to it. But for right now, let's do this draft bearing trades. No trades. All right. So we got pick 99 again. We don't pick it till the 3rd round at the end of the round. Now, shout out to I did a mock draft last night, and it was official. And I just wanted to give a shout out to at Walk the Mock on Twitter for allowing me to represent the San Francisco 49ers. Okay. And I'm telling you, I had a blast. They didn't have my 3rd round comp pick in there. But my results, the players that I took for the 49ers, I drafted hold on. I drafted an offensive tackle. I drafted the kid out of BYU, and then Blake Freeland, and then I drafted defensive lineman Byron Young out of Alabama. So I went in the trenches. Now trenches is what it is for me. Okay. It's kind of like the 49ers, it's kind of like what they do. Okay. Trenches is what it is. Now, look, there's some players here like, you know, do you go best player available? Do you draft? There's your tight end, Sam Laporta out of Iowa. Like, like there's a bunch of Carl Brooks is there. Um, there goes Ladainian Tomlinson's nephew or cousin. They're related. Can't remember. We need a safety. Now, as you can see, PFF is saying that we need a guard, a center, an interior defensive lineman, and a cornerback. But if you're a 49er fan, you're like, we don't necessarily need a guard. We need a center. We need an interior. We need another edge, or whatever. We need a safety over cornerback, right? Well, I guess we need a nickel back. So they don't really have our needs correctly, and I think they grade based off of that. I don't care about the grade. I no longer care about the grade. I want to go with what I feel like the 49ers need and what they're going to do. All right. Now, like I said, I'm looking at Nathaniel Dell. We call him Tank. I'm looking at this kid and he's sitting here and he's there. And I can't figure out why he's on this board in the third round. And I want to draft him. I do. But if I draft him, does that mean what? He's going to be more of a slot guy, and I possibly how does that affect Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, Jawan Jennings? This might be an upgrade over Jennings and an upgrade over Ray McLeod going forward. Do I draft it here? But I'm saying to myself, there are plenty of wide receivers that I've already looked at in this particular draft that I don't necessarily have to, get this pick. Now, I am looking at Carl Brooks, and Carl Brooks is highlighted on my big board. I'm also looking at Sam Laporta, which is a tight end, who's also highlighted on my big board. So this is a little bit more tough. Also, check out this defensive interior, Moro Ojomo, also on my big board. Now, Dorian Williams, if you want a linebacker, I know I mentioned a linebacker earlier, also on my big board. Now, and Jalen Jones would be that cornerback that I like so far. Not a fan of Jacorian Bennett. Doesn't tackle well to me. It's not that you got to be a tackler if you're going to be a 49er. Now, where do I go? That's the question. Do I want to go edge? Do I want to go interior? All right. He says pick anyone. Bomber T says I gotta draft the trenches. I know, but do I go edge or do I go interior? And that's the key, right? I'm not drafting the tight end here. I feel like I can get a couple of tight ends a little bit later on in the draft, like a Schoolmaker, Will Mallory out of Miami. I feel like might be there later on. I want to go interior. I'm looking at the interior guys, but Carl Brooks, I feel like Brooks can play inside and out. And I know that they have him listed as an edge rusher. But at the Senior Bowl, he was in and he was on the out. I feel like I can utilize Carl Brooks in both spots. I think I'm going to go with Carl Brooks right here. I'm not sure what they're going to give it as a grade because they're not saying that we actually need that position. Um, but you know what? I told you, like I don't give a care about the grade. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna draft Carl Brooks. I'm gonna load up. Now you see they went. So I'm gonna go and we pick back to back to back to back to back. All right, we pick back to back. So now, just in case I'm not high on Brooks, all right, I do gotta check the offensive lineman and I gotta check tackles. All right, now my favorite tackle out of the ones that are left, all right? I know a lot of people aren't high on this Blake Freeland kid. Wanye Morris is down there. He's a very athletic tackle. Nick Saldiveri is another tackle that's down there. I could possibly get them a little bit later and allow them to develop into the system. So hold on. McClendon Curtis is there from Tennessee. So there's some guys I could get later at the tackle spot. I really like this Blake Freeland kid. I don't know why people aren't talking about him more. But listen, let me just explain to you like his if you're just looking at his grades, okay, without looking at the film, if you're looking at his grades, you're looking at the metrics. I mean, his run block grade is an almost an 88. His pass blocking grade is a 90. He's not a interior type of guy for your power scheme, but if you need a guy to get out there in the zone and get out there in space and get the one-on-ones. Look at his grades, like a 90. Now, he's a predominantly a left tackle. He also played right tackle in 2020. Can he come in here and play right tackle? I don't know. So that's the key. I really like this kid. I'm not sure if I should go with him, But I thought he was related to Wanye Morris though. That would have been fun. Uh, Big Mark Sports says Freeland. Are you talking about Freeland? Are you talking about this kid right here from BYU saying that he's your choice, bro? I love this kid. I can go down and get a Wanye Morris. I do want to compare him to a Wanye Morris. Now, this kid Freeland is big. All right. Now, Kyle says I'd rather pay McGarry. I think that's his name. I totally understand. That's why I feel like, you know, I'll go interior here and maybe sign a free agent and then still draft like a Wanye Morris a little bit later down the road. All right. Now I know a lot of people haven't really gotten a chance to look at this kid, Moro Ojomo, but look, rush defense, pass rush, like it's all there. It's everything we need. All right. What I like to pay attention to is the gap alignment, the A gap, the B gap. You can see where he lines up in the B gap. You can what he is as far as a technique. All right. There's times he lines up over the tackle, outside the tackle. So this kid can play some football. Ah, man, I want to know what John Chapman feel. I think this is his team. I'm gonna go ahead and draft him with that 100 pick, and we pick back to back. Now, can I have a pick because he's smacking me in the face? I addressed the trenches. This guy is still on the board. I know you want me to get a cornerback. I understand that. Can I please draft Nathaniel Dell? I promise you, you will thank me later if he makes it onto the San Francisco 49ers. I promise you. You want to talk about a kid that was probably the best receiver at the Senior Bowl from Houston, all right, with a quarterback that I might even look to draft later on in this draft if he's available. Their quarterback might be there. Terradome is saying no. Terradome is saying no. He's saying go tight end. Unfortunately, you're saying we don't need a receiver. So let me think about this, right? Because last time I checked, we drafted Danny Gray. Um, can't really run routes, can't really do this. Not saying he can't get better. I'm just saying what he can't do. We haven't seen him do it. And then I'm looking at a guy that can run all the routes. So that's like saying we don't need to draft a running back and we don't need to draft this. I get we don't need to draft them, but at some point, I mean, we draft them anyway. And then what? That's just what the 49ers do. Um, Jawan Jennings is be on his last year of his contract. Ray McLeod will probably be going next year, be going into the last year of his contract, right? Thank you, Steve. Before I said it, you was putting it out there. I just wanted to put that out there. So for people to say that we don't need this, pump your brakes because you also want to look at the best player available. All right. Now, rookie wide receivers can't get on the field, but if he can be your return man, Terradome. And if he's out there doing his thing in the return game, guess where he gonna end up? On the field. But since you guys saying I don't need to get a wide receiver, fine. I won't look at a wide receiver, even though he's staring me right in the face. I don't get it. I don't get y'all sometimes. I don't like these cornerbacks, honestly. Uh I do want to look at the safety. So let me go check out and see what safeties are available. I know we need a safety. Oh, Christopher Smith is there. Brandon Joseph is there. Ooh, I like these picks. I like Smith. I like Brandon Joseph. Trey Dean the third. He's on the come up. He's got a lot of progression. These are two though. Christopher Smith and Brandon Joseph are top echelon for me. Like I like these guys. Okay. Forced 4 incompletions, only allowed 1 TD, had 3 interceptions. Okay. I'll definitely like these guys. Chris Smith out of Georgia. Remember last year? Who was the safety out of Georgia I wanted last year? I wanted him or the kid from Penn State, Brisker. Those were the two guys I wanted. Here's Brandon Joseph. You can look at him as well. Let's look at their height. 6'1", 196. Let's go back to the other kid. I like Christopher Smith, man. 5'11", 195. A little bit shorter. A little bit shorter. Probably one of your more of your you can see where he lines up. Listen, he could play in the slot. He's a box, and look, he plays free safety. So that's what you need. You're looking for somebody to replace a Jimmy Ward that can tackle. That can tackle. You know what? I don't care what y'all say. This is my mock draft. I'm going with the safety. I'm going with Christopher Smith right here. I don't care if they like it or they don't like it. I don't care what they grade it as. It's my damn draft. I don't like Trey Dean. He's on the up. He's on the rise. All right, here we go. We're back on the board. Pick 157. Let's see who do you have as best player available. There's a cornerback, Jacorian Bennett. I just don't think he's. Here's your defensive interior. Do we double up here? Somebody mentioned Kobe Turner. All right. Listen, grades look great. I haven't seen him on film. You can see his A gap, his B gap. He would be kind of drafted at the same position as we drafted Carl Brooks. So, something to think about. I don't have any problems doubling up um on any position because we need the depth. And so we can get a couple of guys and maybe not spend the money in free agency on the defensive an interior guy and double up on some studs. I'm all for it. I'm about that life. All right. I do like Antonio Mafi as a guard. Schoolmaker is there. I think he'll be there a little bit later. Clayton Tune is the quarterback from Houston I was talking about. Will Mallory might be there as a tight end. He had a great Senior Bowl too. Will Mallory had a great Senior Bowl, by the way. I do like this linebacker though. I do. Check Kobe's size. Which Kobe we talking about? Kobe Turner. All right, let's go back to Kobe Turner's. He's 6'3", 290. He's perfect. That's DJ Jones. That's DJ Jones, bro. That's DJ Jones. The kid from Houston might be a good fit. Available left at quarterback. Since you guys are asking who's available at quarterback, Aiden O'Connell from Purdue is there. All right. Just look at his. Just want to look at his. Stetson Bennett is there. Clayton Tune. Dorian Thompson Robinson might be a nice pickup for the 49ers a little bit later on in the draft. So let's keep an eye on him from UCLA. All right. Max Duggan as well from TCU. That's a running. So you want a running quarterback? It's Max Duggan. Dorian Thompson could do some of both. Clayton Tune. He's like an efficiency guy, right? But he also had Nathaniel Tank Dell that you guys kept telling me to pass up on. And it sucks because I would have liked to have drafted Jake Hayner, who ended up going to Tampa Bay. All right. But that would have been the quarterback that I would have wanted. He had the best Senior Bowl as well. Hayner is gone. He just went to Tampa Bay. So I'm looking at my screen over here so I could check out and see what's going on in the comment section. And I'm sticking here on the screen. All right. So back to best player available. We don't need a wide receiver. I don't know how we passed up on here. I wouldn't mind doubling up. I'm a double up on the joint, and maybe we don't sign a guy in free agent. Now I feel like we haven't addressed the offensive line. Like I feel like the offensive line is something we just haven't addressed yet. And I think we need to possibly check out some of these offensive linemen that are available for the to draft. I don't like Juice Scruggs, but we do need a center. Not sure if he'll be a great fit. I do like Antonio Mafi, um, Connor Gavin out of Baylor. Let's check out this tackle out of Utah. We were talking about looking at a different Utah player and the linebacker, but let's check out Braden Daniels. You can see this run blocking grade. He's kind of like the opposite of Mike McGlinchey, where the run blocking grade would have been higher. All right. And then the pass blocking grade would be low. He's like total opposite. But he also plays predominantly at left tackle. Last year, he played predominantly at right tackle, so he can play both. Might be somebody we might be interested in. All right. Michael Wilson is who my man Steve is telling me to rock with, the wide receiver, I believe. Who's Michael Wilson? Where'd you see Michael Wilson at? Going back. Did I address the cornerback position? Because I do like Starlin Thomas the fourth out of UAB. I do like Sterling Thomas the fourth. So let's maybe I'll go corner here. I feel like I just been all defense. All defense, all defense, all defense, all defense, all defense. Here's more of a more well-rounded tackle if you're looking at the kid out of Baylor, but again, he played predominantly left tackle, so I don't know if they go that way with him to try to convert him to play right tackle. So, it's a tough decision. It's tough to make. I do like the kid here. Woo, it's getting tougher by the minute, baby. Maybe I'll go guard. Let's see if he played any center. Zero. So he played tackle, he played left guard predominantly. Don't necessarily need him at the guard position. We got Aaron Banks holding down the left guard position. This is tougher than I thought. All right. This is a lot tougher than I thought. Um, but I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with a linebacker here that I know can play some positions. Dorian Williams out of Tulane. There's only two players I've been looking for out of this school. Is him and Taji Spears, which is gone, right? And so I just look at his coverage grade, which means this is where you need him, right? You need him to line up. He can also play in the slot at the nickel, like in college he did. I wouldn't have him. Let's see what he runs in his 40 time. He's not going to have wide receiver speed, but he has really good coverage skills. I'm sure he'll have a decent um, a decent bowl. Now, remember, Aziz Al Shire will be gone. We do need to refill that spot with another linebacker. Therefore, I went with the linebacker in there. So I went with Dorian. And let's go. I feel like I've not addressed the offensive line. How do I check what the hell I drafted? That's the key here. Like, I would like to know what I drafted. I know I'm on the clock. I know what I got. What the hell did I already get? That's the question. I got plenty of picks left. We got a little bit of time left. What did I get? I got. Is there a way to do that on PFF, guys, to check to see what you got? Anyway, I'm gonna stay away from running backs. I feel like the Niners, there's gonna be a running back that goes undrafted, and the Niners will pick that person up. So there you go. We addressed the safety. I'm gonna go grab. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is a super defensive draft. He says at the end. I know we need to draft the center position. Let's see how well he plays in the center. Now, I personally like Jake Brendel, but I felt like where Jake Brendel struggled was in the run blocking game. Now, according to his grades, he's not that great and run blocking. There's his zone block grade, which is average. All right, there's his zone block grade. This might be a kid we can kind of like pick up and kind of like train. It doesn't have to be the best at the position. But Juice Scruggs looks like he can play in a zone offense. So you know what? I say let's go with the linebacker. I mean, with the center right here. Let's go with Juice. Juice. We'll have two juices on the team. And now we getting into the developmental picks, is what I like to call them. We're in round 6. All right. This is when I believe Elijah Mitchell was drafted. Now, I know some players I drafted a safety out there. I don't really feel like I need to bring in another one. Trey Dean is still on the board. I see a wide receiver, Ronnie Bell, that I like. Um, there's a running back, Muhammad Abraham, I like. There's some guys. I didn't address the tight end position, so I tell you what, let's go check out the left tackle position and then the tight end position. All right. So now all the tight ends that we probably wanted are pretty much like gone off the board. I could have gotten them earlier, but I didn't. Oh well. This kid out of Old Dominion. Let's just to give him a look. Didn't play in too many games, which means he got hurt. There's another tight end that's gonna go probably like in the first round, even though he didn't play um none of his last season in college. That's Luke Musgrave. Stud. Stud. I do want to. That's crazy that Schoolmaker went over Ronnie Bell. I didn't expect that. Do want to check out the tackles. Whew. So Sal DeVeri will be a project. He's definitely a right tackle. But I feel like the 49ers just have some people in here already, like that can kind of do what these guys do. Asim Richards didn't play well, didn't grade well. Don't want to say he didn't play well, didn't grade well. TJ Bass out of Oregon. When you're looking at his grades, they're pretty much average. The question is, he's a left tackle. So you want to be careful when you're drafting these tackles, like where are they going to play? And, immediately I'm looking at that left tackle spot and, maybe we just don't take a tackle in this draft. Maybe we pay a tackle in free agency. And like I said, every Monday this is going to change around. So I know y'all telling me not to draft these wide receivers, but I like Elijah Higgins. There's some guys still on this board. I can't believe you guys. Um, I did like Alex Austin. I like Alex Austin. Let's see, 6'1", 191. That'd be a cornerback that I would look into. Can I get him a little bit later though? That's the question. That is the question. Yeah, tackle's not deep this year. I would have had to get him very like much so earlier. What if I drafted a quarterback right here? I like Clayton Tune. Um, you can see he can get the ball down the field. Look at his completion. His completion percentage was 67.1. He had 333 completions, 40 touchdowns though. God dang. 40 touchdowns. I'm gonna draft a project quarterback in the 6th round and just say, why not? Why not? I'm gonna go ahead and grab him, and I'm gonna see who's available on the clock. Trey Dean is still staring me in the face. Let me check the size on 6'4", 315. That's not bad. You know what? I'm gonna get a project tackle. I'm gonna go ahead and get Asim Richards. We got 2 picks left. I can't believe he's still available. Like something's not right. Trey Dean is still on the board. Let's scroll down a little bit. I just want to see best players available. I already got a center. If not, Alex Forsyth would have been the guy. There's some running backs I feel like we could grab. Oh my gosh, Evan Hall. Like these guys are probably go undrafted. Do I want to reach to go grab one? No. Y'all not yelling at me. Not today. Um, I feel like we pretty much all set. So I'm gonna go grab. I'm gonna grab a. I'm probably gonna grab a running back that I like. Um, I just want to check him out. I just want to check out. We do need a tight end. I just want to check him out, see what he did. Now he only played in 3 games in 2022, and you can see as he played in more games, his grades were lower. Uh, Inline, he's an inline guy. All right, he could line up in the slot. Didn't have many yards. Not a big yards guy. Forced missed tackles, no contested catches, no D catches. This doesn't look like he fit. Like I can't really tell off the kid Noah out of North Dakota State. I'm looking for tight end. That's what I'm looking for. Guys, if I'm not paying attention to y'all chat, please forgive me. I'm just trying to get these last 2 picks up here. You know what? Let's go check out these tight ends. I feel like the 49ers need a tight end, and there's got to be someone that fits. So let's see if we can find a guy. I'm looking for a guy that could block in line. I'm looking for a guy that could line up in the slot. I'm looking for a guy that could catch 11.3 yards, a touchdown. This might be the guy. Receiving grade, doesn't drop the ball too much, not a good run blocker. Possibly that can develop. Possibly. Only one drop. One drop. All right. Brenton Strange out of Penn State. Keep him in mind. Who else did I look up? Braden Willis. Let's try Braden Willis. Now, Braden Willis has a way better run block grade. He averages more yards. He has more touchdowns. Kid out of Oklahoma. His receiving grade isn't as high. He has 2 more drops, but he's forced 15 missed tackles. He's caught 3 contested catches. He's got a 78-yard catch. Ooh. So right now, Braden Willis is the leading tight end, right? Braden Willis is the leading tight end. And I think I'm going to stop there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and reach, and I'm going to go ahead and get Braden. Last but not least, I'm going to say if he's available, because you know what? He's there, and I'm going to grab him. I'm getting my kicker. I know you told me not to draft the kicker. Again, I could care less about the grades. Okay. I could give 2 flying care cares. And I end up with a B plus, right? I don't care about the grade, and I end up with a mother loving B plus. Let that simmer saute like Biggie all day. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post this up on Twitter. All right, I'm also gonna post this inside of the Patreon, And I'm going to do a special video on the Patreon breaking down each of the draft picks and why I drafted them this week. So be on the lookout for that. Won't be today, but it'll definitely be there. Just to get some quick feedback. What are your thoughts overall on the draft? All right. Quick feedbacks. Terradome says nice. He says he loves the skill positions. Okay. There's a lot of players. Paris Johnson, I believe, is no H at the end, will be gone in the first round. Like probably first round, early second round. There's a lot of players the Niners are going to have to trade up to get. All right, a lot of players. And free agency, Terradome was talking about free agency. We got to go Caleb McGarry or Isaiah Wynn. Now, I'm curious because it's weird. Like, I wonder if the Patriots are really going to move on from Wynn, which I believe that they do. Right now, those are two right tackles, right? And so, are they an upgrade over Mike McGlinchey? For sure. For sure. Jacqueline says she loves it. Bomber T says good draft. All in Bet and Sports says I got the best kicker in the draft. I mean, I know he was possibly going to go undrafted on this, but listen, I had a pick, Mr. Irrelevant pick. Why not go with the kicker? You know what I'm saying? What if they turn two Mr. Irrelevants into all pros, by the way? Now, speaking of all pros, don't forget to do your poll question. All right. The question is, how many draft picks made all pro under the Lynch Shanahan era? And I'm going to go ahead and end it because we're about to end the show. All right. Tonight, yes. There wasn't one last week, but there will be one tonight. All right. So the night show, the Nitty Gritty Niners show, will be tonight. I believe 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yes, there's going to be a show with the crew from the Nitty Gritty Niners talk show. So that will be tonight, Christy Marie. All right. Results are in. How many draft picks made all pro? Now the votes, 32% of the votes said 4, but the correct answer is 5. Let's go through the 5 all pros. You ready? Some of them are in the thumbnail of this show. You got George Kittle, you got Deebo Samuel, you got Fred Warner. You ready? You got Nick Bosa and Talanoa Hufanga. 5 all pros from the 49ers. And when I look at it, George Kittle, 5th round pick, all pro. Fred Warner, 3rd round pick, all pro. Deebo Samuel, 2nd round pick, all pro. Nick Bosa, 1st round pick, all pro. Talanoa Hufanga, 5th round pick, all pro. There's a trend going on here in San Francisco. Pay attention to the combine. I hope you guys paid attention. Solomon. What you talking about, Willis? Solomon who? Not Thomas. Who am I missing? These are drafted players. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, pay attention to the combine. Make sure you watch it just about every day. If you miss anything, no worries. I'll make sure on all my social media stuff, I'm putting up clips and things that I want you guys to check out. Also, the 49ers like to draft players from the Senior Bowl. I'm guarantee you, when I talk about some of these players that I met at the Senior Bowl, they're going to be on the 49ers radar. Watch their draft stock rise at the combine and get ready for the draft in April. It's been a real show. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining. Wednesday, we'll be back here. We'll be breaking down the defensive linemen, the linebackers, all right, from the combine. We'll be previewing that because the combine will be on, I believe, while we're doing the show. So that's going to be pretty cool. I won't air it live, but we'll talk about it as we're watching it live. Should be a very interesting show. Love y'all. Stay up. Stay faithful. Y'all got jokes. I said all pros. Y'all got jokes. I see what y'all doing over here. I see what's going on. I'm not even looking at you and I can see what's going on. Thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button. Leave a comment in the comment section. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to check out the shorts. And most importantly, keep it nitty gritty, guys. I'll see you guys tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching.